everyone. So I am joined today by Steve Armitage, the Head of Technology Design and Innovation at Heathrow Airport. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'd just like to get straight into it. So would you mind telling our audience a bit about yourself and what your role means for Heathrow Airport, please?
Okay, so I've been in the aviation industry for 35 years. I
Wow.
started off working at British Airways, and then when I left there, I moved over to Heathrow, so I've been involved in aviation for a long time. And I think the bit that keeps everyone in aviation is every day is different. There's a new challenge, and I've done multiple roles across both organisations. The last 5 or 6 years, I've been focusing on new capabilities, often technology-based, but not necessarily. So that's my current role, is about how we can introduce new capabilities into the airport.
So my next question to you is, what are some of the day-to-day challenges that you experience in your role?
I think a lot of the challenges will be the same roles that anyone in any organisation has, which is about prioritisation, resources. What should we go after? Obviously, when you're working with new capabilities, one of the softer side is being able to open up everyone's eyes to the opportunities of what you can do differently and how you can change it. So I think it's really important to focus on some of that softer side. One of the key bits, particularly when you're trying to innovate in something like Heathrow, is there can't be any shortcuts. So anything to do with health and safety, cyber, data protection, there are no shortcuts. So we do need to go through those processes. So I absolutely understand it's a hard and challenging environment.
Absolutely.
So another thing that's a challenge is maintaining motivation amongst me and the team to be able to keep going. What is quite a hard environment to innovate into.
Yeah, and actually on that note, what are some very specific things that you do to keep the workforce motivated every single day?
I mean, I have regular communications with the team. I'm just rebuilding the team. There's been ebbs and flows during the period over the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So we kind of had a bit of a downsizing with COVID, and then very focused on very local challenges, including COVID and that type of thing. And now just starting to rebuild the team, which is fantastic. Aviation is full of fantastic opportunities. So, I mean, that's what it is, just reminding everyone of there are these opportunities, and it's just so diverse what goes on at an airport. You can be dealing with things associated with aircraft, things with passengers, things with bags, or something like trying to stop the amount of waste. So you can do everything. We can do things around bins.
So how has your expertise helped at Heathrow Airport usher in a wave of innovation and new tools?
So I think the main bit is I understand how airports work from different angles and all of the dimensions and different stakeholders. And the key bit is all about maintaining that flow of whatever's going on at an airport. And anything new, especially from a technology point of view, has to fit into that environment. So it's not something that can exist on its own. It very much exists as part of that whole overall ecosystem. So one of the key bits for me is to get out and trial it. Don't spend all your time just thinking about it, because quite frankly, you won't know how it's going to operate. So get a minimum viable product out there, be really clear on what you want to understand, how you can map it to the business challenges, how you can map it and learn. So do a trial, and if you've set the trial up properly, you won't ever fail. You might not get you might not get the outcome you wanted, but you will have learned from it, and then you can either go back in again. But I think the key bit is
Just
try,
do it.
not spend all the time thinking about it.
Is there room for error in that sort of trial mindset?
Well, as I say, I don't think it's error. I mean, error in the sense of you have to maintain the certain standards around health and safety and cyber. So, putting that to one side, if you've properly structured it, I don't think you can ever fail, because you will have learned something out of it. As I say, it might not be what you expected or hoped for, but you will have learned, which I think is still a positive.
So my next question to you is, what have been some new innovation projects that you've helped install into the airport, and how successful have they been?
Since I've been at Heathrow, I was involved in the early stages of the passenger automation, which is kind of how everyone expects now to process through an airport, but also some other bits that are a bit more hidden. So the tools that allow the airport to kind of understand the flow of people and how busy things are, so that we can adjust our processes around that. Starting to work on some of the security processes, and then starting to look at some of the things that go on in the airfield. I mean, from a few years ago, very simple things about being able to introduce geolocation into the reporting of faults, which sounds very simple, but it wasn't a capability that we necessarily had before.
So my next question is, so what are the next steps in your role of innovation projects that will help increase operational efficiency at Heathrow?
So now, as we're emerging from the pandemic, we're now starting to look further forward, which is fantastic. So we're restarting some of the programs that we were running before. So we're just started to have a look at passenger biometrics and to improve the processing there. But now we're also looking at smart stands to help the operation. And then we're also starting now to do a few little, as you would expect, some trials around generative AI and what that can mean for the business. I mean, we need to be very careful and just learn what we need to do, but also being mindful of cyber and the ethics and all of those kinds of things associated with that very new transformational technology.
So why is innovation so crucial for airports, and why is your role in particular quite crucial as well?
Well, I think the aviation industry has evolved quite a lot over time, but I think now there's opportunity to almost take it to the next level. So by being able to use some of the new capabilities that are emerging, we really will be able to further improve operational efficiency, customer service, and really helping with achieve net zero. So I think if you stand still in this world, then I don't think you'll survive very long. So I think that's really, really important for the whole airport and the whole industry, in fact.
In your experience, how have you seen innovation help and enhance passenger experience?
Well, I think fundamentally it just gives us new tools that weren't available before, and you can get to know the people coming through your airport better. So not only are you then able to better serve them in terms of making sure that you've got the right capacity, but also improve their experience, whatever they might need as part of that. So one of the areas I'm quite excited about at the moment is the bit around those passengers that need more assistance. So what more can we do to help them improve their airport experience?
And just as my final question to you, I'd just like to ask, what is keeping you up at night?
I presume you mean apart from the foxes that have their evenings fights outside the bedroom window. I think, as I mentioned before, I've got a new team and I'm really excited about them joining Heathrow and what they can achieve. But also there's that worry of maintaining that enthusiasm, because it's, as I said before, it's not an easy place to innovate in. So the excitement, but also the realization, the responsibilities. Exactly.
Okay, well, that was my final question. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you very much.